Hey, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Let's get into it.
Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Well, the Senate, the House just passed a measure to make sure every presidential account is forced. No ifs, ands, and buts. You don't get to make a decision. This ain't your choice. You're going to have to show your 10-year tax return. Let me get into the story because it's a very interesting story.
H.R. 1 restores the people's faith that government works for the public interest, the people's interest, not the special interest. Let us be very clear. This is a fight that we're taking a vote on today, but it is a fight we will not end until we win it, because it is a very fight for the Constitution. It honors the vision of our founders, gives hope to the American people that their interests are served.
The House on Friday passed legislation that would require presidents to disclose their tax returns. As Democrats have made obtaining President Trump tax returns on their top priority, the tax return disclosure requirement was included in the House Democrat wide-range election reform bill known as H.R. 1. Now, it's kind of funny. The Democrats want to pass an election reform bill when they did election rigging in 2016 primaries. But the bill is known as H.R. 1, which passed on a party line vote of 234 to 193. It is not expected to receive a vote in the Republican-controlled Senate. So in other words, Mitch McConnell is not going to bring this up to a vote because he's a little turtle punk. All right. And he's trying to protect Trump. And for what reason? Or he's probably trying to protect him and his Republican buddies who probably got all kind of evil crap going on in their taxes. The same thing with the Democrats. Majority of them all frauds, all of them trying to escape. But they but they only made this for the president. They ain't make it for members of Congress. All right, so like I said, it passed 234 to 193. H.R. 1 is not expected to receive a vote in Republican-controlled Senate. Under the legislation, president, vice president, and major party nominees for those positions would be required to disclose 10 years of tax return to the Federal Election Committee. That agency would then make the returns publicly available. If a candidate or office holder failed to disclose their return, the FEC chairman would send a request to the Treasury Secretary to obtain copies of the document. An amendment was added to the bill this week so that that under the legislation, office holders and candidates would be required to disclose both their personal and business tax return. Tax return provisions are based on legislation offered by Representative Bill Pascrell, Democrat of New Jersey, and Anna Eshoo, Democratic of California. Pascrell said Friday that he and Eshoo believe that we need to write it into the record that it is demanded of everybody who run for the presidency. It should be demanded of everybody who run for office, period, for the House or the Senate. not just the presidents. It should be required for every person that's going to be in a presidential cabinet or members of the White House staff. This should go to anybody that's going to have anything to do with legislating anything or helping to push legislation. Pasquale said Democrats, including the tax return provision in H.R. 1, to highlight the fact that Trump is the first president in decades to refuse to voluntarily release his tax documents. Trump has said he won't release his returns while under audit, but the IRS has said that audits don't prevent people from disclosing their own tax information, so they're getting rid of that lame excuse. The vote also comes as House Democrats appear to be moving toward requesting Trump's tax return from Treasury. The Democrats went to review Trump returns to learn more about any potential conflicts of interest, especially any entanglements with foreign governments. There they go with this mess, as if the other president didn't have entanglements of foreign government. The House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal, Democrat from Massachusetts, has the authority under statute to request tax returns from the Treasury Department. The Ways and Means Committee could then review the returns privately and veto to send a report to the House that could make some or all of the information in the returns public. Neal has not given a timeline for when he'll request Trump's tax return, but others have predicted that it will be soon. Pasquale earlier this week predicted that Neal would make the request within the next couple of weeks. When asked Friday if Neal has given him a timetable, Pasquale said Neal hasn't made the final decision. Now let's unwrap this a little bit, because we know Trump is a horrible businessman. Now, a lot of you people in America, you got sold a bill of goods. You got sold a used lemon and lime car in Trump, the presidency, by the lemon and lime car himself. Everybody in New York knows Trump is a fraud. He's always trying to rip people off, always trying to take advantage of this and take advantage of this. And some of it is legal, but it's still scammy. It's still horrible and scummy. You know, there's a term said the law is legal but not logical. There's another term say it might be your right to do it, but is it right? Is it right? Like me, I'm fighting to get my job back. It might be their right to not let me come back because of train delays, but in my contract, there's a just clause contract, which means if there's a valid reason to allow this to go, then you should let it go, even though you still can ignore it. It's just a right thing to do. And Trump trying to hide his tax return, it may be his right to not unveil anything, but it may not be right, because people need to know how financially responsible you are. You're going to try to run this government, pass taxes, pass laws, give money to Saudi Arabia, try to make tax breaks, but yet you yourself are in all kind of financial messes, like me. All right, so they passing this thing, like they said, it's not going to go past the Republicans, because the Republicans, first of all, they need to make this available to anybody that's going to be doing anything in Washington, D.C., from cabinet members, staff, White House staff to congressmen, House and the Senate. That should be available to all. Because we need to know, the public, the American people need to know, what are these people involved in? And should we trust them? And how scammy they really are. We know a bunch of them are scums and scammies. But how much of a scum? How much of a dirtbag, scum, scammy, scalawag politician that you really are? Politics mean many bloodsuckers. And not only Trump is one, this dude. But I say 75% of the people on Capitol Hill, Democrat and Republicans, are trying to evade paying taxes or doing their fair share or doing something undermining with their paperwork. So, yep, so they passed that, and Nancy Pelosi, of all people, $150 million lady, wants to pass a tax law just to get into Trump taxes. Sure, she can't make it seem like it's personal. She got to make it seem like it's going out to everybody. But we know what you're doing, Nancy. We know what you're doing. You hate this guy, and you're trying to get at him. But yet he's your best friend, because you are saving a lot of tax dollars because this dude changed the tax laws. How serious are you about whipping up votes? How serious are you about Chuck Schumer going to Congress and Bernie Sanders or whoever whipping up votes to get this thing passed. Not serious at all. You know why? Because majority of you guys are politicians. You don't care about real working people. You only care about yourself. So sure, it look like you're doing right by the people. But we're going to see how far you're going to push this, because you're making a lot of money, saving a lot of money, thanks to this dude.